The long march ended where the water met the silt. The rivers became the final anchors of our journey.
We learned to use the swamp. The reeds gave us paper, boats, and the first roofs of our new world.
We stopped following the rain and began to lead the river. Agriculture was the end of the wandering. We turned the earth into stone. The sun-dried brick was the atom of the first cities. We built a skin of stone. For the first time, we defined what was ours and what was the wild.
Ownership was born. We marked our names on the world, claiming our place in history. The migration moved into the mind. Writing allowed us to speak to generations we would never meet.
We defeated winter. Surplus grain meant we no longer lived for the next meal, but for the next century.
The fire of the savannah became the hearth of the home. The smell of bread was the scent of civilization.
We traded animal skins for the breath of plants. Linen became the fabric of a sophisticated world. We mastered the heat. From the furnace came the vessels that carried our water, wine, and oil.
Order emerged from chaos. We brought geometry to the wilderness, building monuments to the gods. The Stone Age died in the forge. Metal gave us a sharper edge, a harder will, and a new kind of power.
We fused the copper of the peaks with the tin of the earth. Bronze was the steel of the ancient kings. The horse and the wheel united. The chariot became the engine of the first great conquests. The tribe became a kingdom. One man's voice became the law for millions across the valley. We challenged the horizon. We raised stone mountains to prove that our names would never die. The rivers were our highways. We moved the bones of the earth to honor our glory. The city became the heart of exchange. Here, the stories of 1,000 miles finally met. We brewed the liquid of the gods. Shared drinks built the bonds of the new urban tribes. Collaboration became compulsory. The first state was born from the collective labor of the many.
We reached for the sky. The ziggurat was a staircase to the gods who controlled the floods.
We found the sweat of the sun. Gold was the symbol of a status that transcended survival.
We captured time. The stars told us when to plant and when to prepare for the rising waters. Justice was set in stone. No longer would the strong rule by force alone, but by the word.
We tamed the unseen. Clean water and hidden drains allowed thousands to live in a single space. The spirit of the beast lived on in our art. The bull was the strength of the Indus, the power of the flood.
In the east, we fought the dragon. Controlling the river was the price of survival in the fertile mud. The wisdom of the east was bound in bamboo. A culture of order was growing in the shadows of the forest.
We discovered the secret of the moth. Silk became the thread that would link the ends of the earth. The migration became trade. We returned to the paths of our ancestors, but this time, we carried our wealth. We needed the bones of the mountain's moon. Cedar was the wood of kings, the skeleton of our greatest ships.
We perfected the sea. The small rafts were gone. Now, we built giants to conquer the Mediterranean.
We found color in the depths. Purple was the scent of royalty, the mark of the merchant princes. We simplified the world. 22 sounds became the foundation of all the stories yet to be told.
The liquid gold of the Mediterranean olive oil was the fuel for our lamps and the life of our tables. Metal was the new language. These heavy bars were the currency of the first global economy.
Tin was the missing piece. We traveled thousands of miles just to find the ingredient for bronze.
The wild still watched the stone. The cities were islands of order in a sea of wandering tribes.
Defense was the price of civilization. Behind the gate, we were citizens. Outside, we were prey. We learned to fight as one. War became the shadow of the state, the cost of our expansion. We built a second skin. Metal protection allowed us to face the arrows of the wild without fear. The king was the protector. To hunt the lion was to prove he could defend his people from the wild.
We sent our prayers into the dark. The scent of resins from far-off lands connected us to the divine.
We charted the migration. For the first time, we saw the world from above. a grid of lands and waters.
On the islands, we found grace, a civilization of art and sea, where the bull was a game, not a god.
Objects traveled further than men. Our culture was spreading through the things we made and sold.
Bronze was the metal of kings. Iron was the metal of the people. A harder age was beginning.
The Iron Age brought more fire. Empires clashed as we fought for the fertile ground our ancestors found.
Civilization was fragile. What took centuries to build could be returned to ash in a single night.
The migration never truly ends. When the cities fell, we took to the roads once again.
We built new homes beyond the horizon. Expansion was our answer to the collapse of the old world. We sought the eternal. Marble was the stone of the soul, the canvas for our new ideals.
We migrated into the world of ideas. We questioned the gods, the stars, and the nature of ourselves. We celebrated the human body. The physical strength of the hunter became the glory of the athlete.
We built the first neural network, a road that spanned 3,000 miles, uniting an empire of empires. The nomads remained the kings of the distance. The wild heart of the steppe never stopped beating. In the east, the walls grew longer, a shield of stone against the storm of the north. Value became abstract. A small piece of silver could buy the labor of 1,000 men.
All roads led to one place. The migration was consolidating into a single, global force. We moved the rivers to our cities. Gravity was the servant of the empire, bringing life to millions.
Discipline was our greatest weapon. The iron march of the Legion was the march of order.
The ends of the world finally touched. The migration was now a web of silver, silk, and spice.
In the hidden forests, the journey continued. Different faces, different gods, but the same human spirit. We mapped the cycles of time. Even in the jungle, we looked to the stars for the answers to our destiny.
The last frontier was the ocean. Without maps or metal, we followed the stars to the ends of the sea.
We left our mark in the loneliest places, a testament to the endurance of the human journey.
We sought the silence of the heights.
We learned that memory could bleed. The journey of knowledge is as fragile as the journey of men.
The sun sets on the age of beginnings. We had occupied every land, sailed every sea, and built every world.
The wanderer has become the builder. The foot that once ran from lions now stands on the threshold of infinity.
The rivers flow on, carrying the silt of our history. We are no longer the children of the savannah.
We are the fire that never goes out. A constellation of souls on the surface of a lonely planet.
The Great Migration is over. And yet, the greatest journey is only just beginning.
We were travelers. Now,